Hello, beautiful people. Welcome. I will be teaching the basics of crosshatching today. Let's get started. Crosshatching is one of my favorite types of hatching. Hatching is a form of creating values in shading when creating a picture. The difference between hatching and crosshatching is that hatching uses lines that are parallel to each other, going only one direction, while crosshatching uses parallel lines that may intersect with each other or overlap. Alright, let's start with the basics. When you want to create lighter shading, you want to space the lines further apart. If you want to create darker shading, you want to space the lines closer together. When crosshatching, you can create more lines that overlap the previous lines to create darker values. If you want a more detailed look, you can also use the smaller lines to create that effect. When working on curved objects, you can use curved lines to express that it is round. Here are a few examples of that. In shading, it is important to know the different shadows and values. Let's use a sphere as an example. The lightest part is called the highlight. It is the point where the light is directly hitting the object. This should always be lighter than any of the other values. The area around the highlight that is still lit up but not completely in the light is called the midtone. It is still very lit up and bright, but not as bright as the highlight. Next is the core shadow. This is the part of the object that is not in the light's pathway, therefore creating a dark value. This should be your darkest value. Next is the cast shadow. It is the shadow cast by the object, not the shadow on the object. Finally, the last one of the shadows is the reflected light. This is a little bit of light that is reflected back onto the core shadow. It is usually the same, if not a little bit darker, than your midtone. While crosshatching, I like to mark out the highlights before I start or lightly mark out the shadows around them. This can give you a basic foundation for where the rest of the shadows should be. Once I finish the first layer, which is the midtone, I mark out the core shadow by layering over the previous lines, going the opposite direction and making my lines more close together. Once I've done this, I go back through and make everything even darker. Next, I smooth everything over and try to create a smoother look to the object. While you are doing this, you can choose to use curved lines or straight lines, maybe both. They all work. Art is a skill. Crosshatching is included in that. Every skill needs to be developed and nurtured for you to become better at it. So practice. You probably won't be amazing at crosshatching when you first try it out. If you wish to become better at it, then practice multiple times a week, if not daily. Consistency is key to improvement. These practices don't have to be big or long or have to be perfect. A good way to practice crosshatching is to draw 3D shapes and shade them in, or you could draw value scales. Don't be scared to create dark values, as they will only enhance your drawing. That's all for today. Thank you for watching and for all the support. I love you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. Subscribe to become one of the most beautiful people of all. Adios.